everything flows to the family, to the business, the organization, and after your family is taken care of, the business is taken care of, an organization is supported, and then you think of for benefit for whatever else you do. We do happen to have an ecosystem that allows us to do so, and within it are multiple streams of passive ways to make a living, to live well, to to do good, to help other people, and also have the ability to benefit other people as well. If, of course, you're doing pretty well, you're not necessarily living based on day-to-day needs, and you like to have the ability to leverage your resources for the benefit of others, where you might be comfortable, but instead of taking out of pocket for your reserves to help other people because you love to enhance other people's lives, take a portion of your reserves and basically tap into a cash flow generating ecosystem, a machinery, and have perpetual impact, residual impact long after one activity is performed. Your resources are being leveraged perpetually to infinity, or so as long as uh, uh, everything works out well. So, having said that, this is not financial advice. I am not providing legal or tax advice. This is not also your typical presentation, your typical business opportunity. I'm probably not into those type of. I'm not well. Obviously, if you see my channel, it's not about get in, take a spot, position yourself. Hey, if this is for you, you'll see it. If this is not for you, I don't want to waste my time with just the average person. I want to engage time in education, coaching, and training to people of substance. And at the end of the day, when we come together to have fun activities, I want to make sure that I spend time with people that I want to be around with, as opposed to push this thing so we can bring in a lot of commission junkies who are not meant for this opportunity. Anyways, the ideal person that I'm looking for is a person of substance. It's a family person, a business-minded person, someone who like to impact other people's lives. At the same time, making sure that if you've received a degree of success, you have an obligation to basically touch as many people as possible with your resources. And if this is you, then you can watch the video. Having said that, no part of my video are considered to be financial advice, legal or tax, what for whatever. And by the way, I am not interested in promoting trash, so please do not contact me about promoting, you know, if your program is of substance, we can have a video in-person meeting to see what you have to offer. Don't send me any file. Don't call me about stuff that I'm not interested in. Having said that, so the family is the cornerstone of our society, and economics affect every aspect of family. If the family is doing well, chances are you're going to perform well in your business, and chances are you're going to do phenomenally well within an organization that you like to support, or perhaps you're taking part of, and chances are you're going to look for ways to enhance other people's lives in everything you do. So you may not be interested yourself because there might be a case where you're doing pretty well. This may not be for you, but because it benefits other people and because there are not a lack of people in need, for the benefit of others, you might participate in a cash flow generating machine so that you could have impact with the resources that you're likely to give on a monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually in your giving contribution tithe or whatever you want to call it. So this is for the super well who are doing so well they can think about other people's needs. And this is for another individual who is already part of organizations, who are already supporting organizations, who like to do it on a grander scale using leverage. And this is someone who is already in business. Well, let's say you're a real estate agent, mortgage broker, car salesman. If you're if you're making your money in selling a product or service in a down economy, chances are you're going to see a decline of cash flow coming in because the cost of living, inflation, taxes, and the like. And chances are it's going to impact your ability to think about other people. It's definitely going to impact your cash flow for an organization, such as a church, for instance. There's been a decline in church attendance, and the decline happens on the people who are around 25 or below, singles, liberals, and there is a post-COVID survey and a pre-COVID survey. The decline has been steadily, and that means a church that does not have an influx of younger people who are, in a sense, the future of the organization, that in effect cash flow. So is the continuation of such organization. So there's a huge push to re-engage younger people, to get them involved, participating in some ways, to soften the blow or the bleeding, you could say. And money has everything to do with it. Money affect everything. And so the ability to receive an influx, if suffered by a decline in population, obviously, um, anyways, so I don't want to get into that. And business, if you're in a sales type of business, mortgage, real estate, the economy is not great. Housing cost value are declining. Interest rate is up. That means the average fresh out of college millennials, you know, basically starting out on life, already starting with a negative with school debt and many difficulties. Some living with your parents to save money, or some are moving back home, you know, to for a couple of years to raise enough money so they could start up on their own, and that actually put a strain on the family budget, on the family, engagement, and money is at the center to affect uh, the pocketbook with everything's going up in cost. That means everything. So my video has to do today how to leverage an ecosystem to bring home multiple streams of passive income, starting where you are, okay? Starting where you are, leveraging, so you could say a percentage of whatever you had in reserve that are not uh, active, passive reserves, supposedly for emergency purposes, sitting perhaps in an institution that is leveraging you, and you like to take advantage of an opportunity to increase cash flow coming in, to match or surpass the impact, increase financial cost, inflation, taxation, cost of living, to diminish the financial impact on the family, maintain or support a business that is bleeding in cash, and to reinvigorate an organization that is slowly dying, and reviving the psychological benefit of impacting other people all at the same time, affecting four facets of our society. Oh, more importantly, oh, I forgot, participate if you can. Have enough left over or a portion set aside for cultural wellness. Well, yeah, cultural wellness. How about having a fund to support your regular museum visits, your sports attendances, your concerts, opera, classical concerts, and and the like. Behind me is a picture of Isita Kanamason, a wonderful pianist, playing in Jordan Hall this Saturday, the 14th of October. I'm already engaged to participate with Handel and Haydn, well, not participate, well, I imagine myself participating, to basically attend Handel and Haydn for a Beethoven concert, having been to two this week. In today's devastating social, geographical, or regional, or international negative news, there is an there are an influx of bad news coming in from everywhere, and there are going to be plenty of people with nothing going on who are going to bombard you with either to engage you to talk about what's going on or send to you information as if you have not gotten it from everywhere. And I would love to, as much as possible, disconnect and detached. Stay engaged so I'm aware what's going on, but not immersed into it. And this is where music therapy, concert, you know, comes into play. And the purpose of this video is to bring value to you so I can go back to do what I want to do, what I love to do, find ways to nourish my soul with enrichment of reading, classical music, music practice, a little bit of art, and cultural. At the same time, not negating family support, business engagement, organizational support, and beneficially helping as many people as possible in the process. And this video plays a part of it. So, anyways, within our ecosystem are multiple streams of income. So we have, how should I say? Let me just take a look. Okay, so just to bring you up to speed with what we were talking about, in case, of course, you're not engaged, below is you're going to find more information about a complete overview of our ecosystem. Basically, we are in a crypto business. We are working to bring crypto to mainstream, starting, of course, with all the bad news going on with crypto, with regulation in mind. Miracle Cash and More is a company that is set to basically deliver and fail promises from other projects that were never designed to be in business for long, leveraging the hype of crypto, NFT, and any other things to basically uh, uh, um, participate in helping people, you could say, squandering the money due to improperly structured uh, platforms um, that are not necessarily designed to last for long. Finally, during the whole hype and formation of crypto, the company started with proper foundation with regulation in mind, a core system developed since 2017 until now. And in 2020, we began to basically roll out, retail stores, POS system, ATM, and exchange. And now we're looking at better things. At the core of what we do, without getting to so much detail, we own our own switch. We basically the core of what makes our ecosystem performs, what it does to our service, to our business, our customers, and to our customers, to companies who basically use our technology. Uh, Basically, every aspect of our ecosystem is basically enhanced by our core switch and miracle technologies. From the ATMs to the reward system to fintechs to web services, and of course, at the center of it, we are preparing to basically have our own node system switch, uh, stablecoin, gas token, to basically make it a full-fledged ecosystem. So don't have to necessarily understand all that's going on. Um, to give you a brief idea, say for instance you go to a store, you pay with credit or debit. Well, First Data is a company that processes the transaction. In our case, we own our own switch where we process the transaction. We use our gas token for fee. It's called Finic, and our node system validate the transaction, and everything is done in house. And basically, that's what we do. Whether a transaction happens at the point of sale, uh, whether the transaction happens in ATM, or whether the transaction happens um, at a local physical brick and mortar building, our reward system to the node via the switch validate the transaction. The Finic token, our proof of transaction token, is the gas to pay for everything. And every business that works with us needs to be KYB. Customers that work with us needs to be KYC. And not only that, we started in the proper foundation, knowing and anticipate where crypto is going to be. So the typical customer has the ability to engage with us in person in major cities in Europe. A business that's been performing for quite some time can leverage miracle technology to basically accept crypto as a method of payment, or the transaction can happen 24/7 through a an ATM or 24/7 to an exchange. For the first time, we are bringing crypto to mainstream to allow the average person to demystify crypto engagement and bringing legitimacy to something that's been in a gray area for quite some times. Okay, so at this moment, we are either having presence in some of these regions, some of these countries, or we are preparing to enter some of those markets. Again, transaction happens in four primary ways that are ready now to go, and other methods through miracle technologies that we have to offer that I'm not going to talk about right now. But everybody knows what an ATM is. Everybody can walk to a physical store to purchase anything. In this case, it's a crypto servicing store. Anybody is familiar with the POS system where you pay with debit or credit card to a local business, and anybody have used the web at some form or fashion. And we demystify crypto engagement in those four ways that are already habitual to the average person. And we do that in person, several countries or region in Europe. Absolutely amazing. You're probably already familiar with most exchanges. They do four of the most regular services that Miracle has. But where we differ, we, like Binance, have our own stablecoin and we surpass the rest of them with a brick and mortar presence, buy and sell in person, customer service in person, vending machine, POS system, and most importantly, backed by Lloyd's of London and with fiber protection. No other exchange, online only, gives you all those opportunities. Anyways, and this is where we come in. We engage you in a way through the Boogie Gopher community, a community that allows you to participate with us. And through the club, we have multiple ways we engage you. We have live events that will come together. There are people who like to have fun. There are people who love to help other people. And there are people who love to study and learn. Here, you'll be able to do all that. And there are people who love to make money. We cater to all four people. The driven, economically minded type will be doing very well here. If you like to study, we are part of the nucleus. We are part of a world that is constantly changing on a daily basis. Okay, you can have an impact in making a difference in helping other people, and you can have a ton of fun with the kind of money you're going to make, helping people, having fun, learn, and at the same time, not struggle. So, whatever appeals to you, if you're part of the four type of people, we cater to your need. You can make a lot of money here. You can have a lot of fun. You can help a lot of people, and you're never gonna get bored because there's always something to learn about this space. So, and the family, business, organization, or to have access so you can have an impact in people's lives. Chances are you're gonna come across this video on YouTube, or if you've been following for quite some time, so you haven't done anything because you've been hesitant. Because unlike your typical YouTuber, I'm not flashing how much money I'm making because that's not relevant. Okay, if you want to know what's going on, we can connect on a one-on-one, and we can do a meet or Zoom so we can onboard you properly, plug you into one of my team members that are doing well or up and coming leaders, and so we can show you, how things developed. We have some amazing news that are going to happen in the next, quarter or second, the first or second quarter of 2024. I mean, in some cases, we are positioned to have some amazing news happening, and none of it is really necessary to talk about here because it's not relevant. Because we're not looking for hyping the opportunity. We're looking for family minded, business oriented, organizationally focused, if you like to make a difference, and of course, if you like to help other people. So, in a sense, that we have a lot. But I do have something that I really want to focus on. Anyways, so you can have fun here. Not going to talk about any of that. Let me just show you why, what we can do for you here. what we can do for you. Anyways, when you participate, since we're talking about money, when you participate in our ecosystem, we have four ways um, for you to engage. You can engage in the three ways of generating immediate, um, active, immediate um, income for engaging. The first way you can acquire a membership and be done and don't want to share. That's the one way. For most people who are not marketing oriented, you just want to leverage the ecosystem, and but you don't want to talk to people about it. That's okay because you've got enough going on. We understand that. The other way is to participate and share, and this is where a three-tier marketing system can benefit um, a family, a business, an organization, and have enough left over to basically make a difference. Let me show you. Imagine, imagine you're a husband and wife. You are either the husband or the wife. Been married for quite some time, got a couple of kids in college, and you know they're gonna hit you up for money all the time. Okay, and you find out about this thing, you're like, wow, whoa, we got a couple of thousand, um, sitting for reserves for if something happens, and we're not leveraging. We don't have a need for it at the moment, but 6 months later, 6 months is a long time away. How about after you do your due diligence, you realize that you know there are three direct now income coming in: 10% on layer one, 4% on layer two, 3% layer or tier three. Okay, so usually the woman takes care of the money, knows everything going on, probably more adapt to the needs of the household. Something breaks, probably they want to notice it first. You know, forget my thing, my saying. So this may not apply to you, but don't get hung up on what I just said. But keep in mind, women are probably more attached, more tuned in to meet needs, whether it's a family financial budget or the needs going on around the house, or more likely the one to push to get things done. If a faucet is leaking, the windows needs to be repaired. They have to see it on a regular basis. Or let's say we're living in strange time, your partner, all right? So you got a couple of thousand sitting somewhere not doing anything, um, not or being leveraged by an institution that's not benefiting you. And there are three three ways to economically impact your family now. Say husband, you know, wife started, okay, got a couple of kids, let's say, you know, son, daughter, um, brother or sister, okay. Anything happens on the first tier, generate a 10% income. So right away, you get it. Immediate reward for your dormant as well liability that's helping an organization leveraging you. Okay, so take it out right now. In Italy, share is 1,000. Okay, so you take 1,000 here, 1K, because your daughter, chances are, or son is gonna need money, and you put a K, 1K here. You set them up with their own account and teaching them the concept of not depending on you all the time, but to be financially able to sustain themselves because there's going to be a time you're not going to be around. And so you like to alleviate the idea of dependency culture, okay? Um, Son, daughter, you do 1K, 2K, doesn't matter how much it is, okay? You do 1K each, just so to not um, cause any issue. Brother and sister, um, brother or sister, let's just say, you know, while you're learning about this whole thing, cousin, you know, you're learning about this thing, mom and dad, you know, you're learning about this thing, and at the same time, um, you're invoking other people to actually, hey, come take a look at this. I want to be able to evaluate it properly, but I want as many eyeballs as possible. And as you're looking at this, you're like, oh, I too can benefit from this. And they engage. Brother is doing well with 5K, you know, sister is doing super well with 10K, cousins not so well, let's say 2K. Okay, now front line to you or first tier, 10% for each one, you know, $500, 1,000, 200. Wait a minute, the family is now leveraging an ecosystem. I'm telling you, you have brother, sister, cousin. Thanksgiving is coming up in the U.S. and you have an extra. You, you chances are money is going to be on the top in the topic, and politics is going to be in the topic. And I can guarantee you, there are probably two things to avoid around family time: talking about money, politics, or other things. All of a sudden, what if you alleviate a source of stress in the family where you have an instant cash flow coming in the family all of a sudden, where you come together around the dinner table instead of bickering about some nonsense that happens eons ago, and now the family has vision. How about the vacation we can take together? Hey, we got 1,000 coming up, 500 here, 200 there, 100 here, 100 there. Okay, that is commission coming into mom and dad. Oh, by the way, each one can have their own account, husband and wife. Husband account with the commission coming in, so you have 500, 1,000, 200. That's that's 1,700 coming from the brother, sister, cousin of the either wife or husband. All of a sudden, the other half, let's just say the primary account, start with the wife. Chances are, if all these people are going to be engaged, it's probably going to come from the wife, meaning more emotionally in tune, more likely to check on other people, more likely to have, you know, non-factual conversation where you can tap into other people's needs. You can, a little bit of feeling here, and all of a sudden, you know, the husband has 1,700, give and take. I put uh, 300 into it and get um, 3 Italy for 3K. All right. So all of a sudden, you have instant commission coming in from brother, sister, cousin to fund the husband's account. Meanwhile, if the wife started, chances are her brother, sister, cousin also has. Now, the husband may also have his brother, sister, uncle, nephew, niece who are going to find out about this during the family table and who may also participate. And so now you have extended family coming together. Instead of bickering about nonsense, all of a sudden there's hope, there's less tension, there's conversation because there's a mutual common interest in advancing together as opposed to bickering about some, you know, nonsense that happened eons ago. Family is looking forward. The vacation, uh, you know, bring the side families together, you know, husband side, wife side, naturally they probably wouldn't go, you know, they wouldn't get along too well. All of a sudden, you eliminate a certain, you know, family stress, and there's reason for unity one more time. You'd be surprised by $1,000, few thousand, $10,000 extra coming in on a regular basis can open doors for relationship to flourish where there's been a stagnation. Anyways, and all I've been talking about is the first level. Okay, brother, sister, cousin, sons, daughter. All of a sudden, out of commission that comes from here, and the extra, 200 give and take an extra 100. Now the husband or the wife uh, can start their own account, which generate a. We have not talked even about the sponsor, the person who will refer you. You know, the person who refer you has not even been mentioned because we're talking about the immediate family. Now, typical millennials have no tons of friends. They are socially connected. They are on social media all the time. They constantly texting each other. All of a sudden, you know, they're engaged with their friends, and then this thing will start taking a life of its own on a second level where 4% is unleashed. But giving kids their age, they may or may not have an extra thousand to leverage into an income opportunity, but the parents could be the financial source. All of a sudden, mom and dad might want to know, oh, my daughter, my sons have a way to make some extra money because they learn from, you know, let's say James or Nancy and James or Nancy's friends, you know, the second layer all of a sudden start opening up because James was connected with his friends in social media. They're probably doing some sports betting, and now they have some extra money to bet on this sports stuff that they're likely to be plugged into constantly, glued in their phone every waking minute. And so the daughter, say Nancy, instead of like gossiping about, what's going on among their friends who likes this, color or fashion, all of a sudden can channel their conversations towards, hey, my dad just put $1,000 into this thing, and now I have a way to make some extra money, and this thing start to flourish on the second level, start to flourish on the third level. All of a sudden, the 10% coming in from your daughter's side, from Nancy's side, and Nancy share with her friends, generate a 4% and 3%. And then versus cousins go to work, the sister, the brother goes to work with a little bit of excitement, better mood. Coworkers will want to know, their friends will want to know. The next thing you know, a second layer is also happening here, and the third layer is happening here. So in the third layer, you get 3% of all activity. Second layer is 4% in all activity. Okay, let's just call the brother Joe. Joe started with 5K, generated 10% commission to the wife or husband, so that's 500. You know, Joe's friend started to, you know, spread a little bit. Do you understand the economic impact that could have on your family? All of a sudden, their residual friends that happens to come by for, um, for the friend for the Thanksgiving dinner. In this case, the boyfriend comes of Nancy, come to that and then find out about it. You know, that's another source. The girlfriend and 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 the like. This could be probably the most low stressed holiday for this family. All of a sudden, you know, husband and wife can afford to buy a gift for their niece and nephew and the like. That's on a family level. Take the same concept. Take the same concept for a business. You have the typical mortgage broker, real estate agent, down market, housing costs are pretty much lowering, interest rates are high. Typical person are finding out they've been priced out of the market. And so now people are delaying to stay in their home because they probably get into a mortgage at a much lower rate X amount of years ago. They could be in a position to downsize to go to a different home after the kids moved on, but find out that at the current interest rate, it's probably better to stay where they are. So they're going to delay moving on, which means the up and coming millennials who are just starting out their family, that's one less housing that would be in the market for the up and coming family to move into. So instead of giving you the typical opportunity pitch, I want to engage with you in a real life scenario of what's possible. So, for an example of an organization, for instance, an organization requires or perhaps rely on donations. If the typical family are not doing well economically, that means they probably are worried or stressed out every day going to work because they don't know who's gonna let go first. And there's been a lot of layoff or restructuring, however you want to call it, downsizing, uh, that cause tech sector to basically just letting people go. That means there's economic instability at home, so the business is affected. Prices are lowering for home, interest rate is high, taxes and all that. Price of cost of living is really high. That means, and you're dealing with organizations, nonprofits, that are necessarily struggling to maintain um, a current uh, continuing donations that normally would come to them. Um, the people have to strive to meet the family budget. Chances are the organization is like an extra or an unnecessary, expense. I've already mentioned possibility where churches are not necessarily growing. In fact, there is a decline in church attendance according to the survey by Christianity Today. Young, liberal, or single. Well, that technically eliminates the future church if that doesn't turn around. What happens if young, liberal, or single, which are likely to have surplus depending on habits, or not attending? That means that is a huge source of revenue for an organization, a non-profit. That's not happening. And that means the family future is declining. That means connectivity is also declining because an organization is usually where people go to connect, and that means less connectivity. People were more socially isolated, people were more withdrawn, and that's not good for the family, the business, or the organization. And you can forget the benefit aspect of it because you can only be connected to other people's needs if you are socially connected, if you are socially part of the community that is thriving and growing. And chances are emotionally not developing. I don't want to be the psychologist here, but you get my gist. Another way, if the economy is not doing well for you at home, business not so well, that impact your giving, and you also will be suffering from the cultural side of it because to support cultural wellness, there's got to be surplus. And hence the need for income, increasing your ability to earn. And you can start all that from where you are. You don't, well, you can start making more money and employ the seven laws of the book The Richest Man in Babylon, but you can also start where you are by reducing expenses and leveraging the first 10. Pay yourself first so you can multiply, so you can reverse the impact of inflation, taxation, and and much dangerously when money problem happens, the family is the first to feel the impact. That means a socially withdrawn individual who is not connected to an organization, a social network, um, likely to be detached from other people's needs and perhaps even detached from their own self needs, um, driven by necessity to maintain work or to take on additional work. That means there's less time for the family. Less time for the family, meaning we're dealing with a society potentially of disconnected, socially isolated people who are economically also isolated. And that means increased cost for a socially disconnected person. So that's where by improving one's economic stability and the family also benefits most, and the first to benefit and therefore impact your ability to perform well at work, which also impact your ability to connect and give, so you could feel the need to be connected with other people, not to mention even be aware of cultural awareness, the importance of it. And you can solve all that problem with additional income. Now, money is not everything, but like Zig Ziglar say, but it runs right up there with oxygen. When you have it, you don't talk about it. When you don't have it, that's the only thing that you think about, you talk about your needs, your wants, or lack of, and we are part of an ecosystem that allows that to happen. Anyways, I wanted to connect with you, not so much in a typical opportunity presentation, but I wanted to connect with you on that level. Anyways, so when a transaction happens in our ecosystem, um, Finnic, our transaction or proof of transaction token, will be at the center of it, and you can acquire Finnic, a lot of it, individually or part of a package. Um, Finnic will be the center for everything that moves, every transaction that happens. Um, and this is an opportunity where you can put resources to work without you exchanging time for money. Whether a transaction happens in a local store, POS system, ATM, exchange, uh, we have Finnic as a gas token. And you can be part of the story by basically participating. Currently, what we have is Italy. We don't have 39,000 anymore. We have 20,000. And currently, there's about 14,000 or so left of membership of a share bundle per Italy. And this is why we're talking about how to leverage 1,000. You can also get Italy in packages, whether you get the package um, of 5, 10, 20, or 50. Forget about the date. Uh, these prices are still in effect. You get 5 Italy and you get 250,000 Finnic transaction token. You get 10 Italy and you receive 3 Finnic tokens. You participate in getting 20 Italy. By 20, we mean 20,000, and you get 2 million free Finnic token. I will show you. Finnic is also available as a standalone unit, but it's actually more beneficial to get it as part of the package. Buy 50 Italy and get 5 million Finnic. Not to mention, every single uh, transaction is commissionable. Okay, every transaction is commissionable, and you can take advantage of that. So that's basically one of our aspect, or one of what we do. So that's one thing. So how do you participate? You participate by acquiring in Italy a 1,000, and by participating, you purchase an Italy share bundle. You get uh, for 1,000. So basically, or you can participate, acquire a 5, 10, 20 Italy share bundle. And by doing so, you basically can also leverage our node system. I'm going to refresh the page. Okay, so you can do that. Now, because I mentioned we also have the reward program, the node system that validates all transactions. Anyone that will purchase less than 5,000 in membership can acquire a node. The node validates all transactions, and Finnick is our gas token for everything. So for every 5,000 increment of membership, then you can basically, for now, while supplies last and before prices changed, uh, acquire the Miracle node for $1,100. Once you surpassed 5,000 in membership ownership, then you can purchase the Miracle node. Basically, you get to collect Finnick at the end uh, for for having a node. Now you can also acquire the Finnick as a standalone unit. $1,000 will give you 2 million Finnick. You can get 5.2 million for 2,500, 11 million Finnick for 5,000. Again, Finnick is also deflationary. If certain percentage of profit from one region of our company will be used to basically purchase and destroy Finnick. So you have limited supplies and reducing circulation as Finnick is being used constantly to provide transaction gas fees. And through the node, will validate all transaction in our ecosystem. So technically, uh, the membership, the Italy membership is itself is an income opportunity in itself. Finnick is also an income opportunity in itself. Just owning as many Finnick as possible. You can get it as part of a package, or you can get it as a standalone unit. The node is also basically it's a Finnick printing machine, or you could say the best way to explain it. 5,000 plus or minus 5,000, you get to purchase the node at 2,000 plus 5,000. For in other words, for every 5,000 plus increments, you get to purchase the node at 1,100. While supplies last, or perhaps before prices increase. Or you can acquire as much Finnick as possible by itself, uh, but it's actually better to get Finnick for free if you simply purchase 20 Italy, 50 Italy, um, 10 Italy, 5 Italy, but you get no additional Finnick for purchasing 1 Italy. Okay? Italy share bundle. So in addition to that, we also have UK shares that gives you also 3 million Finnick token for 10K. Now I think, in my opinion, this is probably the best offer for $10,000 value. You get 3 million Finnick token, but you also get a UK share membership, and UK consists of 4 different countries. Imagine that we have stores opening in UK, in any of the countries, any traffic that comes from this region, every profit that comes from the ATM, profit that comes from the store, profit that comes from the POS system, profit that comes from the exchange, okay? And any activity that happens in any of those four, ATM, POS, exchange, and store, Finnick is used as a gas token, and the node validates all transactions. When that happens, transaction fees, meaning cha-ching, 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 not financial advice. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. How would you like to participate in the share bundle, Finnick, and the node? Three potentially passive. I say potential is because it's based on you participating. If you don't participate, then there's not potential for you. It's only a potential if you engaged, and you can engage in multiple ways as I explained. Anyways, right now we're having a situation where um, we have exciting news that is about to come across for our community. The current listing price you see uh, may soon change. The quantity of available share bundles will eventually diminish as the community either acquiring additional or bring more people into our community to acquire. And based on the family model, as I explained, you can actually leverage the ecosystem to support uh, your structured family model. So let me revisit this again. Okay, imagine husband and wife has two kids, sons and daughter, John and Nancy. Okay, and then say the wife starts, and then she invokes her brother, sister, cousin. Okay, now John and Nancy, each one has a Italy share bundle, and they are savvy, social media savvy people, and they begin starting to talk to their friends. Um, every activity that comes from, John and Nancy, brother, sister, cousin, generated 10% instant commissions coming in from the first level. So you get one, two, three, you know, so that's two and five people front line. So every purchase done creates a 10% commission, and then once they see that's happening, um, it is likely 100% certain, might be slow, to improve their family relationship, their father, son, mother, daughter, son relationship, instead of dependency on them when they need something. And now the husband and wife engage their kids into a cash flow generating system. So you remove the dependency and create financial independence. And then they can also leverage the ecosystem on the third level, which would be the parent's second level, and where every activity that happens, where the parents make 4% and they earn 10%, and even also open a third level where 3% come in to the parent, you know, 10% come in to either John and Nancy, and not to mention three-tier financial system, instant, while benefiting from Finnick, depending on what they purchase, benefiting from the node, basically delivering Finnick on a regular basis because the node validates all transaction. Finnick is a gas token to as a gas token for every transaction that happens. Okay, and any transactions that happens through the store, ATM, POS system, or exchange pay quarterly rewards to the owners, but the commission for acquiring the membership or one time in case for every repurchase. So, can you imagine participating in such a thing where you have a financial ecosystem that delivers on a constant basis and there are multiple sources of it? One ecosystem, multiple sources of passive cash flow. And you can position the family to do so. Anyways, I didn't talk about the organizations. So, if you're part of an organization, for instance, imagine now being able to donate because you do not have a cash flow problem. So imagine, um, in terms of you now can engage into beneficial giving where you may not be part of an organization, but hey, you naturally give to um, others, to certain things to benefit other people. Now you have a little bit of extra to give, and you can participate in as many cultural things that you like to do, because you're not trapped by economic uncertainties. And if you happen to have a business, by the way, the sales manager, the business owner can structure the same thing, can structure, the sales manager, the supervisor, and the crew, or the regular employees the same way. You're part of a, um, say, mortgage, sales, real estate, brokerage. There's not much activity going on in that department these days. And all these people have tons of people they know, yeah, but there's not much going on. There's not much selling. There's a lot of renting, but there's not much selling. Renting does not generate as much income as selling. And all these people are wired to sell. Well, the business owner can also structure the business that way. The owner or CEO structure the sales manager, front line at first tier, 10%, structure the sales supervisors, second generation, 4%, or the regular sales agents at 3%.